It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. The heart of Massachusetts should be freedom, justice, and liberty. Freedom led pilgrims to Plymouth Bay. Salem trials had justice too late. The sons of liberty spilled the tea, and then the redcoats spilled their blood. The shot heard around the world rang out from the Bay State. Boston strong and ready to defend. It's where revolution started and end. It's been such a long time since Boston left the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. Quincy Market, Freedom Trail, Charles River, Boston Harbor, Bunker Hill, Griffin's Wharf, Fenway Park, Old North Charge. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day.
Hey, hey, hey. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm not trying to step on anyone's stream here. I just want to make sure that the building committee meeting is streamed, because we know the person in charge of that, or somebody on the committee, is his name is Bob, I think. Yeah. Hi guys. Boji Rivera, good to see you. Tammy, good to see me in here. Rich, Biza, Birdie's in here already. Yeah, I sent Mike the link. So we're waiting for him to get in. Let's see what else. It was an interesting day today, wasn't it, huh? Yeah. Rich, it just when you think you've seen it all, right? Just when you think you've seen it all, something else happens. I mean, again, I think, who said it? I think it was Nurse Kim. She never had this on her bingo card. Where do you begin, right? You can't. It's almost too, it's not that it's too complex. It's complicated. There's a lot of people involved. And yeah. So December 8th, we got to talk about that. People need Christmas decorations. We're going to do a fundraiser for Karen Reed at the Star Drive-In, December 8th. All sorts of things planned, all sorts of good ideas. It's a fundraiser to raise money for her legal defense fund. It's not going anywhere else. So, yeah. And there's been a lot of people that have donated already, and I can't thank you all enough. I mean, I got the best viewers. I really do. Yep. I'm doing great, Bernie. It's just I'm luckiest person in the world. You do the morning. Me and Mike do the morning stuff, and you know that crowd is really loyal. They're all great. They're definitely morning people. I'll tell you that. We always have a good show in the morning. It's just that the people are, yeah, the people are great, especially the mods and especially the you guys, you know. And again, that's why I do what I do for you guys. So let me see if that building committee link will work here. Oh, I think it's here. Something about recycling. It may just be like a screen. Yeah. No, It's not 7 o'clock yet. That meeting starts at 7 o'clock. So we're going to stream the Canton Building Committee meeting that they are having tonight. And it's going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of money being spent for an addition to a school. So you're not going to end up with, a new school. And by the way, the new schools and stuff is going to shock you to believe, but when you drop 250 million, there's no warranty. If the roof leaks, sorry, that's on you. Windows don't shut, fix it. It's all yours. It's your school. The builders get to walk away. No, there's no punch list. There's no secondary thing. Oh, the heating system doesn't work. Oh, too bad. Got to redo this. Got to redo the plumbing. Oops. So that 250 million turns into 275, then 280, then 291, then what? Just call it 300. That's how that works. And everybody, does it create jobs? It sure does. Does Canton need new school? Maybe. Should the people in charge of it be in charge of it? Definitely not. Definitely not. With the talented people that Canton has in it, residents, I'm shocked that they're letting this happen. They're smart enough. They really are. And I think a lot of it is, I don't think they feel they would get the support that they need once they got into office. I mean, why? What's keeping people from getting involved in their community? Why is the chief of police in charge of that committee? That just blows my mind. I can't get over that. I just, there's so much to say about that. They disbanded the committee, the one that this guy was on, Bob. I think his name is Bob. He always the vote was 3-2 because these guys just automatically voted with him. And now he's in charge of a school, building a school. I just think Canton has better people than that. Yeah. Marie, great question. That guy that ran that committee, that's disbanded now, and then another one was created that Helena now is on. So I don't see how you can audit yourself. I don't understand. It just doesn't get it. Fire chief, great. I mean, you would want the fire chief on the committee, wouldn't you? Absolutely. How about materials that they build the school with have to pass the NFPA? All that stuff. I think the chief should be involved. That's only good for safety. It's good for the community. It's good for the fire chief for a job. That's his job. So the best fire is the one you don't have to fight. So yeah, I mean, it'd be good to see, with the money that the town has invested into these people, it'd be nice to see a return on that investment. This Bob guy isn't it. There's no way. So let me try this again. Let me refresh it. So yeah, I hope everybody blocks out the noise and we all remember why we're here. We're here because of Cameron Reed. That's why we're all in front of each other. Can't forget that. And we're going to do a fundraiser December 8th. Star driving, 5 o'clock. Special town meeting. Here we go. Boom. All right, so I'm gonna put this up and walk away so I can watch it. Hey, Shelby. Du-du-du. How's that? Full screen that, and I do that. There we go. And make me wicked small. I guess that's good. Maybe smaller, right? The way around. Mix it around. There you go. Good evening, Seven Hills. Hey, Glock 19, there you are again. Stacy Q. We're not yelling. People just aren't listening. Oh, there we go. That's what I like. Yes. This should stop pretty soon. Much better. Thank you very much. See? Mod's fixing stuff up before I even know it's broken. Just don't laugh at me. This is going to be interesting. That's all I got to say. This is about the new school they want to build. The $250 million or 225 or 250. They want $200+ million to put an addition onto an old school. So I'm pretty sure like the heat and ventilation, the air conditioning systems, they're going to be different, right? So you can't control the zones. So that's a whole nother situation. So why not just get a whole new school out of it? It's probably cheaper. Yeah. But I mean, I guess they've already done the studies and whatnot, and this is whatever, but I'm not sure about that. It says live. Okay. Stacy, come on now. They would never do something like that. This is Canton, you know? Nothing works in Canton, so you can't launder money in Canton. It's a possibility. It doesn't happen. No electronics work. Banks don't work. ATMs, cameras, nothing works. So, besides, they're better people than that. $7:01, and I'm always late. These guys are late too. Must be a Monday thing. It's got to be. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. It's going to be fire. Oh, look at those up front. Selectmen. That's not me, guys. That's cable station. Whoever's in the back with his hands moving, then there's another guy there. The person in the left with moving his hands, don't know who it is, but that's the dude in charge. The dude that's pointing and talking like this is usually the guy in charge. Usually. I'm just saying. It's just an observation I've noticed in life. The guys doing this with their hands are the ones that are in charge.
I don't know. Is this on? Lewis, thank you. All right, we have to start the meeting. I know there are people who are in line. I recognize that. I respect that. But we normally have a few things that we kind of get done before we actually get into the article. So in the interest of time and the consideration of so many young families that are here with children, I'd like to get us started here and kind of open the meeting, as close to 7 as we can. Just so you'll know, we have 2 special town meetings tonight, folks, 2 of them. Middle school. But at 7:30, we have to recess. We will then recess briefly, open up the special town meeting warrant number 2. That will be opened up briefly because it says 7:30. We'll then recess that and go back and finish up special town meeting number 1. I'm just kind of letting you know so that you kind of get the feel of what we're doing here. That's all. And just following the procedure. All right? Okay, so is that too confusing? All right. Well, I relied upon town meeting time. That's our Bible, and that's what the town meeting town suggested. This isn't a Richard Stady rule. It's a moderator rule of procedure. Okay, so we're going to open up our meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order. The town meeting is called to order at 7:03. I do also recognize the able assistance of assistant moderator tonight is Mr. Alan Hines, who is going to be handling the outflow as well, and that's obviously we're going to have to coordinate. So I'm going to ask you for a little patience tonight. But we're going to open up the meeting first with our Fire Chief, Wendell Robery, who has some rules in terms of safety. Wendell, please.
Thank you. I'd just like to go over the fire exits in the event we have to evacuate the building. I just ask that if the alarms go off, that we file in an orderly fashion to the closest exit. So if you are in this auditorium, we have an exit down here, stage left and stage right. Out the back, take a right, that'll bring you to the outside. I know we're being streamed in the gymnasium. I'm not sure how many people are in there, but if you're facing the back, to the right corner is an exit. Also, the way you came in, if you come back out, it'll bring you to the hallway. Take a left, you go right outside. Cafeteria, I know the daycare is in there. If you're facing the glass walls, center is a set of double doors, and to your right is a set of double doors. Any medical emergencies, we have police and fire spread throughout the different rooms. Just get our attention. We'll be happy to help. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to recognize Reverend John Timillo III, the pastor of the Congregational Church of Canton, who will deliver the invocation. Pastor.
Good evening. Please join me in the spirit of prayer. Let us pray. Holy God, we gather here tonight, theist, atheist, and agnostic alike, seeking an open, respectful exchange of ideas. So often our understanding of the truth and what we feel is best for our community comes into conflict with the ideas of others who also care deeply about our town. Open our ears this evening, O Lord, so that we may truly hear one another. Open our hearts so that even if we disagree with each other, we can do so with compassion, empathy, and the certainty that we are all in this together. Most importantly, O God, open our minds so that we may be receptive to other viewpoints. Through candid dialogue, bolstered by genuine love for one another, we pray that your will prevail. We ask this in the many and diverse names through which we call upon you as the God of all creation. Amen.
All right. Thank you, Reverend. All right. Seeing that we've concluded our work in terms of preliminary, We will now go right to Article number 1, which is to adopt the rules to govern the special town meeting, which is called Special Town Meeting number 1. Chair recognizes the chairperson of the FinCom, Emilio Moro. Emilio?
Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee moves Article 1, Motion 1 is printed in the warrant.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Adoption of the rules in terms of the special town meeting. Speaking on the motion?
This motion simply sets the initial meeting date of Special Town Meeting number 1 with the starting time of 7 o'clock p.m. tonight. And if necessary, it will continue on Wednesday, November 20, 2024, to begin at 7 o'clock p.m.
All right. Are there any questions? We see none. We're ready for the vote. All in favor signify just by simply saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion too? Yes, sir. Emilio?
Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee moves Article 1, Motion 2 as printed in the warrant.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Adoption of motion 2, which is pretty typical. You outline people who are allowed the privilege of attending, even though they're not residents. It's pretty standard. The list is there for your review. Are there any questions? Seeing none, ready for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion has carried. All right. So, moving right along, we will go right to Article 2, which is the Galvin Middle School construction project. And the chair at this time recognizes the chair of the Finance Committee to move the question, or to move the article, sorry.
Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee moves the motion for Article 2 as printed in the warrant.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to move adoption of Article 2 as printed in the warrant. Speaking on the motion?
This article would authorize the town to hold a debt exclusion ballot vote to see if the voters of Canton will support the Galvin Middle School replacement project under the terms described in the article we will be considering tonight. This proposed project will allow the aging, inefficient, and obsolescent Galvin Middle School building to be replaced by a new, modern, and efficient building and its grounds improved in a way that will serve the middle school and district-wide educational needs of the town and its residents. The amenities that are proposed in the design of this school will meet the demands of also the community through a diversity of recreational facilities and expanded art and cultural performance and event spaces. This project will allow for improvements in our public services, our public health, our recreation, our sustainability, and our arts and culture programs. The financial plan developed to pay for this project is both prudent and advantageous to the town, its residents, and its other stakeholders. It is a cost-effective project, and we support the project.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I would like to recognize the superintendent of the Canton Public Schools, Mr. Derek Follen.
Thank you so much, everyone. How is everyone doing? Good. Welcome. Thank you for coming and making the time for this important vote and project. My name is Derek Follen. I'm the superintendent of schools. I have served this community as an administrator proudly for 13 years. I was here as 8 years as the high school principal, 1 year as assistant superintendent, and 4 years now as your superintendent. I love this community, and I cannot wait to present this project to you. So with that, let's hit it. One, look around. What a community, and thank you for coming out to support this wonderful project. I want to thank you and thank all of the boards for the support, for all of you for the community engagement. And today is just a testimony for that as well. And we have a lot of young families this evening, so we want to make sure that we move it along. The goal of this is to give you a high-level overview of the work that's happened really over the last 2 years. It dates back to 2016-17, but the project work has really been done over the last 24 months. So with that and time in mind, let's move it forward. So one, anytime a project like this happens, we focus on our students and we get great results when we collaborate and act as a team and as a community. So I open up with gratitude. The first thing is we were incredibly lucky to be chosen into the MSBA process. And that's the Massachusetts School Building Authority, MSBA. You'll hear that quite often. They represent our funding partner through all of this, and they have an incredibly rigorous experience that they put your school building committee through, and the town, and the engagement, the educational visioning, for the purpose of awarding you a grant and paying for a portion of a school building. It is tough, I will tell you, having been at the front lines, have gone through it. But we went through it and we succeeded, met every milestone. We are so pleased to have a wonderful team. And on June 27th, we submitted our schematic design and budget for that to be considered. And then on August 28th of this year, they unanimously voted to approve and commend our schematic design and budget that we bring to you today as a community. That's no small feat, and we are so proud of that moment. We're now in the funding phase, so thank you to MSBA and our partners there. It yielded for this community, for this project, $72 million with a maximum grant of $74 million. Special thanks as well to Representative Bill Galvin, Senator Paul Feeney, and Senator Walter Timilty. All three played a critical role in ensuring that we were highly considered for that application process for the MSBA that opened up this opportunity. It took us 5 years for our application to be fully accepted and committed to. And thank you to our representatives. We also, in that process, have to develop a team. We are charged with developing a school building committee, and through that process, doing a request for proposals and selecting our teammates. Through that process, our OPM, our owner's project manager, left field, AI3 architects, and Consilly Construction. The MSBA sets the guidelines in which that selection happens. All three were different, and I can tell you unequivocally, we have the very best team. They work on schools for the majority of their construction and their work. AI3, for example, only designs schools. They all were reference checks, and as a member of the educational community, I wanted a few things, and I said this at a recent meeting. I wanted someone that understood schools and education, our students, and the needs of our family and community. I wanted to be able to trust each one of these companies and the people that they brought forward. And I can tell you unequivocally, all three have been by my side for nearly 2 years now. I trust them. I consider them great partners in this, and they have showed up to every single community event that we have held, at nighttime, farmers markets, Heritage Festival, Canton Stock, you name it. There is always someone there. That's important to me as your superintendent representing this community. And then thank you to you, the residents of the town of Canton, because to be fully engaged in this, we needed the community forums, we needed the stakeholders for the educational visioning, we needed the feedback along the way. So thank you. This is your project, Canton. This is the schools, but it's also the community's project, and we thank all of you. There has been overwhelming support in presenting to each one of the boards and committees along the way. The select board, the school committee, the school building committee, the finance committee, the capital planning committee, the master plan implementation committee, the economic development committee. All of them supported this in an overwhelming manner. They asked tough questions. We had long presentations. There were multiple nights, but it's all worth it when you have great consensus across all of your boards. We also have been rolling in, and there's been a number of groups from CABI to CDI, Residents for Sustainable Equitable Future, Canton Alliance Against Substance Abuse, on and on, the number of groups that have come forward and said, we want to endorse this project because it's good for our kids and it's good for our community. So we're so proud of all these community partners. Here it is. I always like to begin, with that final product. We worked so hard. This is and will be the new Galvin Middle School. It is currently scheduled to be built on the current parking lot of the Galvin Middle School. The Galvin Middle School, for many of you, if you're sentimental, has been there for 50 years. It's been a wonderful building and lots of memories, as all schools are. Schools and kids and our educators and our families are the heart and soul of a community. Our buildings are as well. They have such sentimental value. But it is time. Our building spoke to us. It had water breaks. We had to shut down for a week at a time. It takes a lot of maintenance right now to maintain it, to be honest with you, and it does not meet what we want for an educational vision. This building does. There are windows and great light and space for our students in every single core learning class. You'll see that there's a 5th and 6th grade wing, there's a 7th and 8th grade wing, there's a beautiful common area that's also the cafeteria, there's an 800-seat auditorium and 2 gymnasiums, in addition to our many other aspects here. This is a product of marrying the educational vision with this design. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say, we are a very historic town. And this town has red brick and beautiful buildings, and we wanted to make sure that was represented here as well. So we went with the red brick on the outside, and if you get really close to the design, there's some nice design features that connect it to the Revere site as well. So we're really proud of the design team. We feel like it fits into the fabric of this community, and yet is a state-of-the-art facility that will be there for hopefully more than 50 years. So why are we here? The article is about funding. The article is about a building. But as an educator and as a parent myself of 3, and as someone that believes in education at the highest level, everything we do is for our students and for the educational experiences of those students. The building helps deliver those experiences. So we're here because we love our students and we believe in our students, and we want to place them in the best situation to succeed. And you have to recognize in your community when a building has lived its life and when there is new opportunity before us. And that's where we are now. And I love students because watching them learn, watching them interact, we have over 100 future students next door in the cafeteria having a blast with our current students. And just to get pumped up for this evening, we went and visited them because it helps center you. The students are at the center of our work, and we love their voice. In fact, in the newspaper, in a letter to the editor, one of our sophomores and a former GHS student had a finishing quote that said, "With a new building, Canton students will have the benefits of learning in the best possible environment and be set up to succeed." I could not have said it better myself, and I would rather one of our students say what needs to be said for this evening. The next portion here is a technical one. When you go through the MSBA process, there are different milestones that have to happen. Preferred schematic design, you have your schematic design that you submit. There's also your funding plan that has to happen. And here, there are 2 steps that we are required to do as a community to fulfill. We're here tonight to authorize the town to borrow money to build the new GMS and to put it on a December 10th ballot. If tonight there's a 2/3 affirmative vote, we then move to the December 10th ballot, and voters will decide if the project moves forward. That is a simple majority vote. Those are a mix of an outline of the expectations and bylaws of our town and the expectations of MSBA. That is what's before you this evening. Project overview. So with great pride, and after so many community forums, you'll see the number shortly, community priorities emerged. In our statement of interest, it was determined back in 2017 and 18 that we had to consider our buildings. They were aging, we had overcrowding and such. And what emerged was a recommendation from that project to consider a new Galvin Middle School and to consider a grade configuration of 5 to 8. The reason? Because through our study and still existing today in 2024, our 3 elementary schools are at capacity and overcrowded. We need the space. And so through that prior study, that was a key point of our statement of interest. So through the design and the educational visioning and community priorities, what emerged? It's a 218,000 square foot building. It accommodates grades 5 to 8, including a 5 to 6 wing and a grade 7 to 8 wing. What we heard in that major decision that was voted on December 20th by the school committee was, We understand the need for the elementary schools, but boy, that seems like a big shift. I don't know if how many of you went through junior high and it was 7th and 8th grade. And then it became middle school and there were teens, and it's 6th to 8th grade, and now 5th to 8th grade. As a parent, it's very normal to say, what does that look like? It seems like there's a big gap there. We considered all of that, and what we heard was, one, we want it to be a full community, and two, through the design, if you could group students by their like peers so they could grow up together, maybe 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. The design team did a great job. You see, we have 2 wings. We have 2 areas in the cafeteria. Mr. Mulhern will speak to it, but we want one full school. We want one strong community, but they have their space to be themselves and grow up at the space that they need. So that was key. This is one project that will benefit 4 schools, a new middle school, and it will lighten the load in the 3 elementary schools. So that's powerful. We have a thriving arts program. We have a curriculum that has required theater classes during the day. We have orchestra, band. We have students who are finding who they are, their authentic self, right there on stage and finding a home. And that's why in this particular building, we are recommending an 800-seat auditorium. And as that came forward, the school building committee on December 20th heard that community priority emerge. We talked to a number of people. We visited new middle schools that had put anywhere from a 600 to 800-seat auditorium. And the words that they said was, it allowed our school to come together. It allowed our students to be who they wanted to be and perform at a high level. And it made a statement that we value the arts. We also heard from many community members, and in the spirit of this being a community project, if you could make the fields more usable in the back, and if you've been in the back of the Galvin, boy, it can be mushy. So to put, I heard a few laughs out there for that one. So
Derek, I hate to interrupt you. You're getting closer to 10-minute max, and
Okay.
as a courtesy, I know you're the opening speaker, but we're also coming up in 7:30. So
No
could
problem.
you wrap it up? And
Yep.
we're going to have to adjourn and go to the other one.
No
All right?
problem at all.
Thank you.
So we have a double gymnasium, a geothermal well, and a fossil fuel-free electric building. Those were priorities that emerged. Don't worry, I can take a hint. Let's get going. There's a process here that dates back to 2018, and we have all of these different steps. We are in 2024 in the funding phase. We will do some enabling in 2025. It's 2 years of construction. It would open in 28, and then in 29, the exterior would be finished. The quickest way, if you have a first grader, add 4 years, you will have a 5th grader in that building when it opens, and then add 4 all the way through. Next slide, please. All right, buildings cost money. There's no doubt about it. One of the things here that we wanted to be upfront about is for a medium house, $750,000. We did the average. You can see in the first year, it's on the higher end, the first 2 years, and then it drops off dramatically in year 3 and in 5. So one thing to consider is realize it's going to be a little bit different for everyone based on the value of a home. But on the right-hand side, I draw your attention, over the 30-year bond, it is a $441 average, or $110 per quarter. For projects often like this, they're often $1,000 per household. I know mine will be in the community where I live. And I'm going to show you how we help mitigate that cost. So there are 3 levers that we're using here in the funding recommendation. Some pension assessment savings, which are current operating dollars that will help mitigate the cost. We are also looking at a 30-year bond for a debt exclusion. We're also looking, and we have not taxed the levy for the last 5 years. That will help mitigate that cost. If you look down, it is $441 over the 30-year time frame. And if you look at the top, you have that $241 million budget, the $74 million from MSBA, leaving $167 million for the town to fund. Through some really proper planning, and this is a keynote, none of this comes into play until 5 years from now due to the forecasting and forward thinking of financials. Is there assistance? One, we want to acknowledge that there hits any type of taxes or costs in today's day and age for sure, and in the future, play a big impact. There is financial assistance, especially for our senior assistants, disabled veterans. We have a list that are here, and we'll also have available information on our websites. We care a great deal about everyone. We know that everyone loves the students and believes in the project, but the tax impact can be quite great. So we want to be aware of that and acknowledge that, and we're here to help. So just to talk about this part, over 145 project-specific meetings, over 90 open communication, community events where we engage the public. That information drives the design of the new building, and one big aspect here was you see the 6 to 5 levels and the 7 to 8 levels as well. This is a floor plan here. Again, just to get a sense of where things are. You have the 5 to 6 wing, 7 to 8 wing, 2 basketball courts, and the auditorium in that common space. This is an aerial view of it. You can see Hanson on the right-hand side. You can see where the new building will go. The Much rink is going to be rebuilt on the left-hand side. We will have a playground and then the artificial fields with lights for some great usage and ample parking for this space. And now if I could, just for a 3-minute video, Mr. Moderator, if that's okay, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bill O'Rourke.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Sure.
All right.
I
think
know we're
it's-
under a tight time.
I think it's be proper at this point to stop.
Yep.
And because we're at pretty much 7:30 by that
Sure.
clock. And that way we'll go into recess and then come back to you.
No
Okay?
problem. That
All right.
works. Yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion to go into recess.
Moderator, the Finance Committee moves to recess special town meeting number 1 at this
Right.
time.
All right, moved and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? All right, we're in recess. That's special town meeting number 1. We now have to go because it is publicized as at 7:30 and the hour is 7:30. Hold on. I'm sorry? No, we're okay. We're okay. Thank you. I'm talking to Mr. Duty because we have 2 locations tonight, so please, again, bear with me. We're going to go right to special town meeting number 2. I'm opening the warrant, and the chair would recognize Article 1 at this time, Chairman of the FinCom.
Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee moves Article 1, Motion 1 is printed in the warrant.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Adoption of Article 1, Motion 1 of special town meeting number 2. Any questions? Seeing none, ready for the vote? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is adopted. Is there a motion 2? There is. Chair recognizes Chairman of the FinCom.
Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee moves Article 1, Motion 2 is printed in the warrant.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, ready for the vote? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. So now the special town meeting number 2 has been opened properly, fulfilling the law. I would entertain a motion to recess special town meeting 2 and to return back to special town meeting number 1. Mr. Morio.
Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee moves to adjourn special town meeting number 2.
No, not adjourn. No,
Sorry.
recess. All right.
Recess.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Not so
Premature,
fast. That would be great. but no, Not cool.
That was quick.
I thought that was
Um,
fast.
So, Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee moves to recess special town meeting number 2 at this time.
All right. Been moved and seconded that we are in recess. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll go back to town meeting number 1. If you can keep that straight, you're better than I am. And we'll go back. The speaker was Mr. Follen. You had a video to continue? And I hope this will be it, because I really have been very kind to you, but that's okay.
Thanks for not leaving.
All right.
Okay, I'm going
right.
to turn it over to Mr. Bill O'Rourke, who's a project executive from Consigli. This was an animation that we heard a lot of good feedback, so it's only 3 minutes here, and then we'll wrap it up and turn it over to you, Mr. Moderator.
All right. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Can you give your name and identify who you are for the
Yes,
record?
Bill O'Rourke, Director, Project Executive with Consigli Construction.
Okay. Yes,
So
sir.
again, all right, so this is a abbreviated version of what some of you may have seen on the website. This is just the overview, just to orientate yourselves. Pecunit Street on the right, Hanson up top. What we're proposing to do is an enabling phase in summer of 2025. And that's to remove the much rink, which will be reconstructed on the other side of the school. And the purpose of this work here is to really build a temporary parking and queuing area where the rink currently sits, as well as a temporary bus loop. The plan here is to eliminate much of the traffic and congestion that you currently have on Pecunit Street at pickup and drop-off times. So this is, excuse me, summer of '26, we'll start the construction of the new school. Again, there's the traffic route for the buses as well as trucking. We'll obviously have blackout times for pickup and drop-off. But we will be closing off, fencing off the entire perimeter of the site where the new school is going to go. Obviously, we'll have all kinds of safety put in place with fencing and barriers and overhead protection and sound barriers and all those kinds of things. So here's just obviously an animation of the temporary bus route, taking the students around to the back of the school. You saw the queuing area over to the side for Hanson and Galvin for the parents. Again, taking the cars off of Pecunit. The pickup and drop-off area for the buses will be over there temporarily during construction at the cafeteria, sorry. So now new school construction will fly through this, I promise, starting with the earthwork for the footings and the foundations. That's those going in there now, the new concrete. Structural steel framing. Again, this is all summer of 2026. And then I wish we could build it this fast, but followed by parking, sidewalks, landscaping for the new school, which will open in this for the fall of 2028. At that time, we will fence off and enclose the existing Galvin Middle School, and we will perform abatement and demolition of that school. I'm talking faster than the animation. I didn't think that could happen. Followed by parking lots, landscaping, and then the new turf fields out back, which will be completed for the school year of 2029, along with the new much rink. So I know that was fast. Hopefully it was fast enough.
Works for me. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. I do want to acknowledge, I always do this for elected officials, that our state representative, William Galvin, has joined us. We're very happy to have him. By the way, the building is not named after Bill, although we will claim that at times. It's named after his, what was it, great uncle, the former superintendent, wonderful man, but that's okay. You can claim it. We won't. All right. Great to have you with us tonight. Back to you, Derek, very quickly, I hope. Very quickly.
Absolutely, Mr. Moderator. 2 paragraphs here. Well, one, the slide is just really is this opportunity that's in front of us here. If it passes, we go to the December 10th. If that passes, we move forward with this project. If it fails, everything stops. They give us 120 days to make a decision as a community to access that $72 million and move it forward. I don't like to dwell on things that fail. I love things that pass and are successful. And I'll end with this statement here. I want to thank you for your engagement during this process, and especially this evening as a community. We are so often living our present moment, caring for our families, living day to day. It's not too often that we are presented with an opportunity, a generational opportunity that brings the entire community together as one and invests in the future of our children, families, and educators. Tonight, we have that opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Superintendent. All right, Chair recognizes our, right. Okay, let's stay in order. We appreciate that. Yes, Ms. Halloran.
Yes. Move this down a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Kendall O'Halloran, 2 Beatty Street. I am the chair of the Canton School Committee and, of course, a Canton resident, also a parent of 2 in the district. I speak to you now as a resident of Canton. 17 years ago, my husband and I moved to Canton. We chose Canton because of the great community, proximity to Boston, and quite a few other reasons. But the key factor that had us choose Canton over other local towns was the quality of the schools, as well as the town overall focus on the children when making decisions. Forward thinking and focused on our future. We loved that, and we continue to love that. It is a point of pride. From early years as a town resident, I heard from many that the so-called weak link in our town education system was and continues to be the infrastructure and building at the middle school, the Galvin Middle School. But let's consider that for years, the Galvin Middle School has been turning out excellent students who have exceeded expectations during middle school, high school, and onwards. The fact that this is an old and outdated school was something that I first heard about 16 years ago. No doubt some of you heard about it much sooner. Guess what? The state of the failing building hasn't gotten any better. Despite having amazing leadership and staff at the school and regular maintenance to the building, age has gotten the better of it. We have canceled school because of burst pipes that flood from the top down. We have had a drainage system flood from the ground up. A number of core classrooms have no windows. Teaching space setup is far less than ideal for modern instruction. Just this morning, we had water leaking from a ceiling. I saw the video. We are out of space, not just at the middle school, but at the elementary schools also. Canton Public Schools and school committee work has been ongoing for more than 8 years to be accepted into the MSBA project so that we can address this situation without the full financial burden falling on taxpayers. Finally, we are here tonight where we wanted to be, eligible for between $72 and $74 million of funding from the Massachusetts School Building Authority to pay for almost a third of the cost of the replacement building. But that didn't happen easily nor quickly. We were rejected from the program 4 years in a row. When we were finally accepted in 2022, we started community forums almost right away. We have run community vision sessions regularly, in person, and all shared on Canton Community TV. We talked about the progress at every school committee meeting, and the Canton Citizen covered all the updates regularly. We met with all the stakeholders and organizations that we could and that responded to our requests. Educators, students, sports groups, arts groups, CAPS from each school, the senior center, to name just a few. We were also at every Canton event allowed, including the Heritage Festival, many Canton Farmers Market appearances, and too many other places to list in this time frame. We have invited people from all parts of Canton to be involved at every step of the way and to contact us with ideas and feedback. I actually said years ago on many occasions, please get involved and give your feedback now, before the decisions about the proposal are finalized and it's too late to make changes to the proposal. This is a community resource and we want to hear from all. We have had over 145 project-specific meetings, and at least 90 were public meetings. The message and the constant info has been out there for a long time. It has been a labor of love and commitment, and many thousands of hours devoted to the effort. As far as the school department and school committee's process since being accepted in the program, it is determined precisely by the state agency of the Massachusetts School Building Authority, not by anyone else. Every single step has had to comply with the MSBA regulations, and everything was overseen very closely by the MSBA. At one point in the process, we were down to 11 different configurations and options for the project. We continued to have many, many feedback sessions with the public, which lasted most of last fall and early winter, culminating in the votes MSBA required to choose and move forward one and only one proposed project from that point. I say that because this is the only project model up for discussion now. It is too late to make any changes to what MSBA had already approved without us being removed from the program and forfeiting $74 million of state funding. We don't get a do-over. We don't get to take a year off. No, the funding offer would be revoked and we would go back to where we were in 2017. Hopefully in another 7 to 10 years, we may be back where we are today. Will the Galvin Middle School infrastructure last another 7 to 10 years without incredibly expensive repairs to be financially undertaken fully by the taxpayers? Extremely unlikely. What about the overcrowding at the elementary schools that this proposal addresses and resolves? And that Canton focus on our children and our future generation that was and is so attractive to me and so many others, that would be put on hold for likely a decade or so, sending the clear message that the town focus has shifted. Our children, our educators, our families, and our community deserve this upgrade. Please remove the weak link from the conversation that families moving into Canton have. Let's give all families a reason to consider the GMS as the best place for their middle schoolers. Because, fellow residents, it's not a matter of if the Galvin School needs to be replaced, it's a matter of when. We have a $74 million gift staring us in the face. If we choose to vote at least 2/3 in favor tonight, the town election scheduled for December 10th will mean something. We need to reach 2/3 supporting the project being on the ballot for December 10th in order to have a chance of keeping that MSBA $74 million offer. If we achieve that milestone this evening, that next step is December 10th. We need yes on both votes, this evening and December 10th, for the project to move forward. A no on either will remove all MSBA funding. No second chances, no revisions, no extensions, done. And our tax bills will be much higher the next time as construction costs continue to rise almost 9% year over year. And ultimately, we may need to replace the building without that MSBA funding. We'll also need to continue with the overcrowding issues at 4 schools in the interim. Please realize that this is all about our children. Nothing else. Residents, we have an incredible opportunity before us tonight. We get to choose our kids, our families, our educators, and community taking a step forward. We get to illustrate hopefulness, progress, and an investment in our next generation. As a proud Canton resident, I encourage you to do the right thing for our kids. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just a point of order. I'm going to ask people, please keep your remarks to 10 minutes or under. And also, please do not talk about a ballot question or something that's not germane tonight. Tonight's focus is to get adoption of the article. That's it. We're not going to be talking about what's going to happen next. You should be just focused on whether or not we want to adopt the article, yes or no. That's it. Now, also, I'm going to ask kindly, it's hard for me to see if somebody wants to speak near a microphone. So if you're near a microphone, there are still seats available. Good seats still available down front here if you want to sit. You know, there's plenty of seats here. It's like church. No one wants to sit in the front. I won't bite. Come on down. But please clear the area so I can see who's at the mic. And with that, I recognize the chair of the CPC, Dave. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Dave M. Hart, 8 Talbot Road, Chairman of the Capital Planning Committee. I am speaking this evening for the Capital Planning Committee, not for myself. The Capital Planning Committee was asked to review this project. We had a series of public meetings, some joint meetings with FinCom to review the schematic and the financials. This process, because it includes the MSBA, was a little different than what capital planning normally does. So we were presented with the final plan as approved by the MSBA. So we couldn't make any changes, any recommendations or anything like that. But we did support to the FinCom 501 vote to support this project. It was not unanimous. We did have committee members with concerns, and those concerns really is the cost. And we just want to make sure that town meeting here is voting and that you understand that it is $167 million. It's a full auditorium, a full 2 gyms, a lighted turf field. So in addition to 4 grades of a middle school. So they just wanted me to convey to town meeting that, you know, we do support this, but please understand it is expensive and you are getting a lot for your money. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody in the select board want to speak? I'm looking at the select board. Mr. Chair, do you want to speak before we move? I think someone's going to move a question. You never know. Selectman want to weigh in?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Mike Loughran, 258 Norfolk Street, Chair of the Select Board. Speaking on behalf of the Select Board unanimously supported this project. This is a chance to be part of, to have this middle school be part of your legacy, to say that you voted and got this new middle school built. For those that went to the middle school, I went to the middle school. It was a sucky experience. And I wonder if the way this school is about to be designed, and considering that grades 5 and 6 are going to be together, and then 7 and 8, if this is going to be a turning point where middle school is not the miserable time that it has been in the past for some. So I strongly encourage you to support this. This is a great opportunity for the town. As it's been pointed out, it immediately solves a problem at 4 schools. And if we let this slip by, we have to start all over again. So I hope you'll support it tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Okay. All right. You didn't have me as a teacher, but that's okay. We will go to this person here. Yes, your name and address for your.
I'd like to thank the powers that be for prioritizing this article tonight for the many families who care deeply about it. And in that vein of the young families who have kiddos to go put to bed, I'd like to move to vote.
Oh, okay. All right. The question's been moved. All in favor of moving the question? I think you want to get done. Anybody opposed? All right, the motion passes. So therefore, to save a little time, I'm going to ask your cooperation a little bit here. I see one of my former, Doug Connor is back there somewhere. Someone, could someone please close the door? Please close the door and ask you to vote using the green voting card. And only those people who are registered voters should have a card anyway. Make sure you don't vote if you don't live in Canton. I know who you are, so I'll be counting you out. Remember too, last point, you're voting only to see if this goes on the ballot. We do need 2/3. Okay? We're ready for the question. All in favor of the adoption of Article 2 in special town meeting number 1, would you please raise your green card? Whoa. Thank you. It looks like it's going to pass. Anybody opposed? All right. It does seem to be almost unanimous, but I have to wait. Whoa. Time out. You never know. I've got to wait for the alternate moderator to give me his vote from the gym. We got an overwhelming vote here. All right, I am pleased to report that the gymnasium, Mr. Hines, the alternate moderator, has reported an almost unanimous vote as well. And therefore, I declare Article 2 has passed. Mr. Karen. Yes, sir. It has been moved. He is right. Seconded. to adjourn special town meeting number 1. Well done. All in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. All right. But now, wait a minute. I know some of you are going to go. I understand that. I respect that. We do have a special town meeting number 2. You're more than welcome to stay, but I do want to move on to number 2. We're going to be in brief recess. We're going to stand in recess for about 5 minutes. All right? Brief recess. Whoa. What a vote. Unbelievable.
Okay. How about that? That's all done. Yeah, that was wild. All the those are probably teachers and their significant others. Packed the auditorium, set the vote. Get in line. They talk about corruption. No questions. Yeah, let's vote on a $500 a year tax increase. That's just the first 3 years, then it goes up. Wow. Yeah. Glad I don't own a property in Canton. Think of the business taxes. What they're going up. Forget about property taxes. Woo! Yeah. Can't make this stuff up, man. You just can't. Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, little tidbit, those athletic fields they talk about, the synthetic ones, the fake fields, the artificial turf fields, you need a special machine that has to clean the field because people sweat on the field. It has to clean the plastic grass so that it doesn't have other people sweat on it. It's not like real grass. No. So that fake stuff it's bad. It's bad for people. It's bad for the kids' joints. They'll be blowing out knees. You'll see. That artificial turf is the worst stuff in the world. I'm telling you. Play on the grass. Wow. Yeah, middle school people are gonna, do lacrosse and stuff, right? Yeah, Michael, I did own property. It's funny. It's funny you say that because I did have a house in New Bedford. But you don't know anything about that, bud, because you still live with your parents. But that's okay, bud. You know that. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, the tax rate just went up in Canton. Gotta love it. Bye-bye, Michael. Faggot. So these guys here just voted for a new school. Imagine that. I don't know what to say. I mean, they didn't vote for more teachers. Last I checked, the teachers are what you remember at school. The building is a secondary thing. Joe, the school's massive, and it's got like a whole bunch of twists and turns, and every time you make a twist and a turn, like a 90-degree, it costs money because it's more plumbing. You know that, Joe. Joe, I wonder if I go back.
We'd like to get started on special town meeting number 2, folks. If you're going to leave.
So every time you make a twist and a turn, I'm a bit little. Anytime you make a turn, it costs more materials. It's whatever. Hey, wait till the water bill goes up and the sewer bill goes up and everything else goes up. Wow. I didn't get the dimensions of it. I don't remember it. Right. 90%. Right. Exactly. Then they have to do this. They have to do that. So on the money. So on the money. Absolutely. Yep. I'm just in shock that they did that. And the tax rate for the businesses is going to be like ridiculous. Oh yeah, by the way, dude, I own a business too. You don't own a business, do you? No, you don't. You work for somebody because you don't have the ability and you're not smart enough to do anything on your own. That's why you live at home with mom and dad. So, needless to say that this has been an interesting night. I can't believe they voted for that. That just blows my mind. That should have been a hard no. Hard no. I just don't understand it. Vote for more teachers. Right? Get the kids' scores up, then give them a new school. I just don't, especially with and I don't want to get political. I don't want to get political, but I'm going to real quick. With the change of administrations coming in, I think you would maybe look at the new administration, might be a little bit open to maybe paying for the whole school if they needed it that bad. I mean, he's known to do that. I'm just saying. Right? I mean, they want to get this done, signed, sealed, and delivered, contract in hand before the new administration comes in. That's the deal. So good luck with that. Yep. Christmas is coming early to Canton. They're all getting paid. Either way. So, interesting night. I don't believe that they're doing that. They I just can't. Right. It was Joe, if we voted that unanimously to be put on the ballot, that is pretty solid much of a, if there's that many people that voted yes, that's the same turnout we had for the we had a little bigger turnout for the special town meeting, but that was still a lot of freaking people in there. Right? Those are the people that are going to come back out when they on the ballot, and those are the people that have punched the ticket on the 10th. That's the problem we have here. If it was a 50-50 vote here, okay, it's a chance. But with that unanimous, they're organized, they're getting out the vote. It's a done deal. Sorry, guys. The anti or the logical people don't have the game, don't have the ground game in place to vote no. Yeah, it was a yes or a no, up or down. There was no alternative. The school that they had, they're gonna completely demolish it. So it was spoken as an addition to the school that was there. They were an add-on to it, is what I was told. But as it looks now, this is a completely different school altogether, and the current school is going to be ripped down and made into a parking lot. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's good to get rid of the old stuff. You know, I mean, I know they have that old school's got a, I'm sure it's got the heating system's probably on its last legs. I'm sure of it, you know, probably doesn't have air conditioner that's efficient, right? So yeah, I'm all for good improvements and stuff like that, sure. But man, I just don't see it. That's just a lot of money. When I was in high school, we had portables. Like, got them like military surplus portable trailers. We had class they were called the portables. We had it was you walk up a wooden ramp, it would sag underneath you. Yeah. They plan on building the school over the summer break or over the year, and then one will be done. They'll transfer people into the new school and then get rid of the old school. Um, I'm shocked they're even entertaining this vote. I just don't. I'm shocked. I don't understand it. Yeah, I mean, Joe, you're right. You're absolutely right, Joe. The vote's there. They have the vote. That's it. They're getting a new school. Like, if it was 260 million, they got it's 350, 450. The people that were in that auditorium tonight, that's what matters. The number that we're talking about, say 350 states. I mean, Joe, how much at 350 million, what is the average overage? What are the add-ons? What are the extras on top of a $350 million project? What are the add-ons, the change slips? How many change slips are there from a $350 million project? How many do you think? How money wise, Joe? You know, you deal with big stuff. You deal with with logistical stuff. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, they say 350. It's probably going to be closer to 400 when it's said and done. So yeah. I'm shocked. There you go. Yeah. So like you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That numbers, that's just to get you in the door, right? That's that 9.99 special at the corner. That's just to get you in. That's all. That car that we sold, the 9.99, that one's sold. But here's one for 1,200. Yeah, and then of course they have the state grant that they're applying, and then I think there's federal and state grants that come with that. They all come with a whole bunch of things that you have to do. It's not you're selling your soul to the devil, and you don't. It sounds good, but I mean, what's the percent? What could you get for a percentage rate if the town did that themselves and financed it themselves? Right? I'm not saying no school, but if the town was to build their own school, right, with local labor, and they went to a local bank, what do you think the town could get for a line of credit? I'm willing to say a lot, enough to build a school. Any bank would be livid not to sign on with the town to build a school for the students at a lower price. I mean, yeah, that's very intricate. That school, ours, if I remember correctly, was kind of basic. A lot of straight hallways. I don't know. I'm not a teacher. I don't have to work in that building every day. Yeah, there's certain things like it has to have the auditorium and the this and that, and yeah, like there's. I think some schools they have the auditorium that turns into the gymnasium. I think they have to be separate in one of the rules of the school building. Hi Eve, hope you're doing well tonight. Canton just screwed themselves even harder. They voted to put a new school on the ballot, and it's a whole bunch of zeros on the end of that one. So their tax rate's going to go up. They were looking at like $441 for like the first how many years, and then it goes up, and then it goes up, and then it goes up after that. But I mean, I feel bad for the people in town that don't have kids, that have property. You know, what about the guy that owns a business in Canton? What about the guy that owns a sign company? He's got to pay business taxes. They have to. I mean, that money they give to the town. Why can't that money be donated? Didn't they just donate $100,000 from that sign place? That sign, the billboard. How much of that money's going to the school, right? 50 to 100. Okay, so that's about. Now, are those this like middle schools? I think middle schools have different requirements. Like preschools and elementary schools, high schools are different. I mean, still, 100 million is a lot of freaking dollars. Okay, so that's kind of what they're doing here. So you're looking at 100. They're looking at a little bit more than that because Canton. Wow. So I wonder how the developer of the school. I want to look in to see what other schools this guy has done and built, and we can go and take a peek at them real quick. Use Google Earth and see how they came out. And the traffic pattern. I mean, it looks like you're just offloading the traffic off the street and putting them through an S curve. That's all you're doing is adding vehicles. Brockton High School. Oh my God. Yeah. Brockton High School is the largest high school in the state of Massachusetts. The second largest high school in the state of Massachusetts is New Bedford. They have an in-ground pool, Olympic-sized pool, and they also have a indoor shooting range inside the high school. Tells you when that school was built, back when you could bring your guns to school. And they're not getting a new school ever because you can't build a school that size. No one will take the hit. Even with grant money, they won't build a new middle school down there. Yep. They have a shooting range indoor inside the high school. Yeah. Yep. New Bedford. Yep. Second largest high school in the state. And what they did there is they have like a complex. So they have the high school on one side of the street, and directly on the other side is the middle school. So they use the same playing fields. So it's kind of good. They built a new middle school. I don't know if Mike went or not. He might have went. I know he was interested in this. But New Bedford, they built a new school across the street on top of contaminated land. And what they did is they sunk a bunch of piles in the ground and they built a school on top of the piles. So the school's like 4 feet off the ground, and there's an airspace below, so the school's not touching the soil. It can't because the soil's contaminated. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see anything in there for teachers. You know, I'm a believer that teachers are the ones that teach, and they're the ones that that I remember. You know, I think we need more teachers before we need more schools. Not that you don't need a place to do that in, and I'm not saying that you can't get a better outcome with a better environment, which you probably can. I mean, we are. If I took you where you're at and put you in someone else's house, like you're still the same person. So it doesn't really matter whether it's New Bedford, Brockton, or even Canton. You give them more teachers, you're going to get a better product. Now you put the better product in a better environment, and then you get even better product. I don't see that happening. And maybe I'm just thinking backwards, but I don't see it. I'm sorry, but this is bad. $400 a year increase is $110 a quarter. So their taxes go up $100 every quarter. That's crazy. Forever. Tax rate, add $100 onto it for the new school. Businesses, forget about it. And what if they don't make that? What if the businesses start leaving? What if like a pizza store in the middle of town closes up? Where's the revenue coming from there? Or is he even paying revenue? So, yeah. So, I don't know. It's been fun, guys. And I don't believe Canton did that. I don't believe they I don't believe it. Yeah. All right, everybody. We're probably going to see you guys Wednesday. We got some stuff to do tomorrow. I gave you guys some homework. Check on the I think it's the Seeking Justice page. I think I put it on. The clap filings from the court. Read the court documents, and you're going to be blown away. The court documents are just, I read them once. It doesn't make sense. Well, it does, but just no. All right. You guys all have a great night, and I love you all, and we'll definitely be in touch. And please pray for Canton. Pray for these people. They need a break. Man, I just craziest that you can't make this up. Either way, see what happens tomorrow, right? Yeah, definitely watch Bedro. He is just a master. Oh, by the way, before I go, check this out real quick. This came across real quick. Where are we? Hold on. I just saw it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I gotta share this. This is gold. Check this out, guys. Joe's gonna like this one. Check this out. This is freaking bad to the core. Please pray for the well-being of a victim and a client who is the toughest person I've ever known and continues to fight like hell to live. That's Karen. That's Aiden. Right there. Who do you know? Right? That's fighting like that. Oh, I just saw Joe flip ahead. There we go. Well, you know, Bedro, definitely got to see it. Check this out. Aiden Canny. We filed a Rule 17 motion for Michael Morrissey's private email account based on information outlined in Part 3 of the Bedro letters. Any and all emails or texts sent or received beginning. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I got to put you all on mute. All right, sorry guys. I just got corrected. I'm going to enter something in the chat. I think you all need to look at this. This was just brought to my attention, and it makes total sense. Harvard was built in 1636. They built a school named Harvard, and people pay how much just to get in there? Not the other way around. It's not the building. It's the quality of the education coming out of the building. That building was built in 1980, and they didn't take care of it. Now the maintenance they have to do on it. They didn't do the maintenance, so now they have to tear it down. So look at the other buildings in Canton that were built around 1980. They're all coming up the same thing, called sick building syndrome. It's a thing. So this is self-induced by the town of Canton. This isn't about education. They didn't mention education in that presentation one bit. It's not about education. It's about money. If it was about education, we would see test scores rise 3%. SAT scores up 10%. We don't see those numbers. Those are numbers that sell a school. Those are numbers that sell a project for higher education. This, hey, it looks nice, and hey, we need it. That don't kind of cut it for me. Right? Where's it? Sasha, don't be asking like two simple questions like that. Legitimately, that's a legitimate question. How much money? Again, how much money did the town police department ask for camera systems, for this system, for that system? That hey, they don't work. Yeah, well, whatever. Not good. Not good. Yep. So, but again, on Twitter. They filed for Michael Morrissey's burner email account and his text messages from his iCloud account assigned to subscriber Michael Morrissey, Norfolk County District Attorney. Damn. Wow. Shots fired. That is just like, oof. That is not good. Not good. So either way, you guys, I'm gonna jump. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun with you guys again, as always. You guys are the best. And Tara, thank you again so much, really. Yeah. Bingo. It's money. Simple as that. Sasha knows what's up. Yep. All right, everybody. I love you all again, and I will see you all Wednesday, and maybe, yeah, definitely Wednesday, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night. Sleep well.